Say, do you ever have a nightmare about pulling wires and think of something like this? Ah! God, whoever has to deal with this, I pity them. Well, luckily in our case, things are pretty much tame. We use our wire puller, starting out on the roof, for example, fish it down through the conduit to connect to all of our wires down below and pull them up through the conduit. And we have you just connect the wires into the end of the fish tape pretty simply. And the idea is that in our case, for example, we're going to have to pull 5 wires, but you often might pull multiple wires like this. You have to connect them into the end of that fish tape. What I want to talk about is the technique for actually connecting multiple wires to the end of the fish tape. Here's a typical fish tape, and the deal that we're talking about is the hook or the loop at the end of the fish tape itself. If you were doing just one conductor, you'd strip off some end of the insulation to expose the bare copper inside, and then you'd bend that and hook it into the hook of the fish tape. And then you'd wrap the whole thing in a whole bunch of electrical tape. Now here's the trick. If you want to go beyond one wire, the idea is not just to put a whole bunch of the ends of the wires together and make a big bump that's going to catch corners and edges of the conduit as you pull it through. The idea is to stagger the places where you begin to attach those wires. As you attach the next wire, you stagger it down and you wrap that with its own tape. Then you attach the next wire, wrap that with its own tape. And the whole idea is then that the tape wrapping becomes more of this gradual stepped affair rather than a big bump where all the ends start all at once. This staggering of the start of multiple wires is a good technique for allowing the wires to be pulled smoothly through conduit and around the bends without any trouble. And here's a cool way to do that formally with hardware. This is a wire pulling leader. The idea is that you connect it to the end of the fish tape, and then it's got formal loops for each one of your wires. This one happens to hold up to 6. So this would be another formal way to stagger the beginning of those wires. So I just wanted to show you that this is a good technique for when you're pulling wires to stagger the beginning of each one of those ends.
Hey, thanks for watching the training video using Interplay's simulation-based training program. You can keep watching our solar videos by clicking on the link to your left, or stay up to date on our latest solar snacks by subscribing on your right. To learn more about how the STP provides critical team training and helps you build an onboarding program at your company, please go to interplaylearning.com.